Story time with James.
So today on Story Time with James, I'm going to tell another two-part story. Woohoo! 2 parts, 2 stories, whatever. When I was a kid, I was a little bit of a firebug. And by a little bit, I mean I was a firebug. I loved playing with fire. Something about being a product of the 80s. When you see all these videos of these guys with their guitars on fire. So I used to do stuff like that all the time. I'd spray hairspray all over my Get Fiddle and light it up, record myself playing the guitar, fire going up, One day I decided I was going to make it like a throne video, like I was a king of some sort. We had this chair. Everybody had this chair back in the 80s. It was like this farm scene, light brown, kind of reddish and tan and all this stuff. And had wooden arms, but everything else was cloth. And anyway, so I thought it'd be really, really cool to spray the hairspray on the arms and light it up while I was sitting there, so you got the flames, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I did it, and I set it up the first time and tested it, made sure it was going to work or whatever. And it did. It was pretty awesome. So I set it up to do it a second time. And when I did, I apparently had accidentally, sorry, I'm rolling up my window so I can hear myself think. The second time I did it, I apparently had accidentally sprayed a little bit on the cushion. And so I had lit it, and I was going to light it, start recording, and then run back over the chair and sit there until the flames went out. And so I lit the fire, and it jumped down onto the seat, and I mean, just engulfed this whole thing in fire in the downstairs of our house. And there was a door right near it, which was very handy because I could walk right out the door. The problem is right underneath the door, or right out the door, was still sub-level. It was still under the the main ground, and above the floor there, or above what the ceiling was in this little entry area, was the deck for upstairs. And so I grabbed this cushion, I throw it outside, and I was about that far away from burning down the entire front porch of my parents' house. And I did not set the inside of the house on fire, and I didn't kill anyone. No one died. No one got hurt. I got hurt a little bit. I got a little bit of burns from it, but for the most part, nothing terrible happened from this. But it was fun and funny. So anyway, there's that story. The next story I'm going to involve yet again my good friend Travis. Haha, sucker. So when we were kids, we at this point his mom had gotten together with a guy out in North Pole, and I still lived in Fairbanks, but we had a couple of 4-wheelers, and I had begged and pleaded with my parents, if you let me take a 4-wheeler out to Travis's house, we won't hurt it, everything's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. So my dad amazingly let me take it out there. So I was like, oh, yeah. And so we took the 4-wheeler out, and we took 5 gallons of gas with us, just so that the 4-wheeler, we could, drive around out in North Pole and have fun and actually have some gas. So we had taken that out and got out there to Travis's, and I was spending the weekend out there, if I remember right. And anyway, I don't know really what brought it on, but we decided that it would be really, really cool he had this, it was springtime, so the entire front yard was all just mud. It was just mud and water, just this huge puddle. And by huge, I mean, it was probably 100 feet across, 100 feet around, big puddle, a couple of feet deep. It was pretty gnarly. So anyway, we thought it'd be really cool to pour some gas in there. Well, we started out with oil, see if oil would burn on it, and it didn't burn for nothing. We couldn't get it to set on fire. It was like, well, I got this 5 gallons of gas, dude. Let's use the 5 gallons. So we did. We poured a little bit in. We lit the fire. It burned, sizzled out. It was really cool. It's one of the coolest things in the world is watching water be on fire. It was pretty awesome. Not environmentally friendly, but I've never been accused of being that guy. So So we do it again, and this time we light it up, and the fumes actually sucked back up into the can. Yeah. It didn't explode like one would think. I mean, we were freaking out. We thought it was going to explode. We were all going to die. It was going to be this horrible thing. We were going to set the entire city of North Pole on fire. It did not explode, but it did burn really hot, really high up into the air. And Travis and me just kind of looked at each other like, crap, because we are in deep crap now. I mean, no matter which way it goes, if Dundee, which is his stepdad's name, if he comes out and sees it, he's gonna bust our ass for burning his front yard. If we put it out and then I don't come home with that 5-gallon gas can, I have to explain to my dad what happened, and I'm not quite that creative to figure out how to lie about the 5-gallon gas can. Well, suffice it to say, Dundee saw the flames because they were as tall as the 2-story house was. So he comes running out, and we're like pouring water on, we're dumping water, we got shovels out there, we're throwing water on it. Dundee comes out, grabs a wheelbarrow, just walks over to the fire, and Dundee's like, he's a big guy, he ain't as big as I am, but he's a big guy, you know. He comes walking over there, and he just looks at it, and he grabs the wheelbarrow, and he just flips the wheelbarrow over, grabs one of the shovels from us, puts some dirt around it, and looks over at us, and that was that. That was the end of that. I thought Dundee was going to kill us, and my life was over. I was probably 14. Dundee was just like, that was dumb. And I get to see poor Travis. He was about to start crying, I think. He'll deny it to this day, but I think he was going to start crying right about there, because he thought for sure he was in for, he was going to be either dead or sleeping out in the slough, so which is what we call creeks in Alaska. I don't know why, I don't know what the difference is, but for some reason creeks are sloughs. So if you're ever in Alaska and you're looking at a creek, you're not looking at a creek, you're looking at a slough. Anyway, so that was the story about us trying to burn everything down. And if you're listening to this right now, Travis, I want you to stop and think real hard about how many times I almost killed you, and really ask yourself, why are you still to this day, my friend, 30 plus years later, 32 years later, because I'm an old man now, still friends. It's amazing to me that either one of us survived this crap. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this story. I know it wasn't quite as adventurous as some, but it's still part of who I am and what made me who I am today. So, thank you for joining in, and we'll see you next time on Storytime with James. There are days that I look back at my life and I don't know.